There's so much drama going on right now.
Girl, she not ready to have her.
Hey, what is up all my social climbing friends? It's Dustin and I'm back with another video. I just want to take a second and thank all of you guys that wished me well today, because I did have some oral surgery done today. So thank you. Wanted to start off on that note. And I did want to address something really quickly about the video that I made about Shane Dawson the other day. Apparently it was Lizzie Gordon that actually gave Shane the statue. I had seen like hundreds of people saying that. I didn't know for myself. So that was my assumption. I wanted to correct that because I got a lot of comments about that. So it was Lizzie that gave Shane the statue and not Trisha. But either way, that's not really important to Trisha for giving Shane and all of that. But that is not the topic of the video today. So how are you, Nick?
Doing great.
Don't be facetious with me, sir.
I'm doing good.
You swear. But today I wanted to talk about Trisha Paytas. We made a video on Nick's channel and now more has came out about this whole thing with Trisha, and I wanted to talk about it. So for those of you that don't know, Trisha actually went to Arby's the other day and she was trying to film a mukbang in the Rolls Royce that she drives around in Beverly Hills?
Yeah, somewhere out over there.
Somewhere in Beverly Hills. And basically, this guy really did invade Trisha's personal space. I'm going to put the TikTok in here for you guys to see if you haven't seen it, because I do think that it's important to see this. I was not aware of this part of this. I knew that the guy came up to the car window because I watched the video that Trisha put on YouTube. I did not see the TikToks, but he really did invade her personal space. So I'm going to put that in here for you guys to see so you can make your own judgment, and then I'll be back with more commentary.
Hey TikTok, what's up? So I have recently lost 25 pounds. I can't. I don't want to. There's you. This guy just... Seriously, if you come knocking on my door, like, it's so creepy, and then demand that I talk to your kids. It is a man on a phone saying, roll down your window, roll down your window. I won't do it. I won't do it. It's not right. It's not cool. You're not cool. He's filming me as I'm driving away. I am in my own personal space. Like, please. Like, he's literally following me. When I tell you I am shaking, I am shaking. I need to explain what's going on, and I'm like terrified right now because this dude knows my car and actually knows no boundaries. Like I'm like shaking. So like, again, people come up to me, okay, whatever, and I've always said, like, if I'm in my car, like, okay, but I'm by myself in the car, and this guy's just like, I see him I have my camera like this at all times when I'm in my car. I see him like coming up or whatever. There's a grown ass dude. This guy's like 50 years old, like just like already has a camera, just this is, I see him and he's telling me to like roll down the window, and immediately I'm just like, I'm trying to get my shoes on, I'm trying to get my chair forward, I was like eating, I was like, and he's just like, roll down your window, say hi to my kids. I don't know if his kids are on the phone. I don't know if he just like got some video of children. I don't know what is happening. I just know I need to get out of this. And he's recording me and mocking me all the way as I'm leaving. And I think I'm like leaving, but then on the freeway, like, I don't know if it was him or whatever, but someone else comes behind me and I'm pretty sure it's him, and just being like, oh, you're too good. You're too good. And now I'm like scared to go home because this dude knows my car. He's in my area. If your dad was at an Arby's parking lot in Thousand Oaks at 3 p.m., your dad is a piece of shit. Crossing huge boundaries, and it's freaking. Hey guys, so I'm home now, and I just wanted to like clarify some things. So it's not about him asking me to FaceTime his kids. It was a couple things. One, he was banging on my car door from around. I saw him coming around, and then that's when I stopped the TikTok, and he's like, and when I say banging, like knocking on my windows all the way from the back. I just immediately was like, no, I'm filming right now because I had my main camera up there. I was like, no, I don't want to. And that's when you heard me, I started turning it on because I said, no, I don't want to. That's when he started like mocking me and being like, oh, she won't roll down the window. Oh, she's backing up. Like that kind of stuff happened. Just kept filming me and all of that stuff. If I'm out and about, like I will always say hi to people. Usually I'm with Moses and I feel safe. And if I'm alone, I get a little caught off guard, but I'm always like nice and I can usually assess the situation. This was a grown man, not the usual people that come up to me with supposed kids on his phone. Like it's inside my car. It's like being in my home.
So in the video that we made together, Nick, a lot of people were saying that we were victim blaming Trisha, when in reality, that's not the case at all.
Yeah, they were trying to make the comparison that what we said about Trisha and how she was in an Arby's parking lot eating her fast food in her Rolls Royce, that could be compared to when a female goes out and is catcalled or SA'd by a man.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry, I just don't see how those two things could be compared.
It's absolutely not the same thing. By us saying that Trisha shouldn't go out in this Rolls Royce, it's basically us saying that would be the equivalent of any kind of like A-list celebrity that you would know going out in a car that people could easily detect who they are in, and then going to have Arby's. Should people go up to these people that are they look up to? They should not. I 1,000% believe that people should be entitled to their own privacy and personal space. I think that it's incredibly rude if you're out and people just come up to you and hassle you and try to get pictures and get you to video and all that different stuff. I never would agree with that. I never think that that's okay. I think that these are people too. They're just people that have an audience and people follow.
Okay, but also here's just my thing. People can drag me in the comment section if they want to. But if you don't want people coming up to you when you're out in public going to get food because you're going to sit there, you're going to make a video because obviously that's something you need to do alone. You're doing a mukbang. Maybe not put it out on TikTok like, hey, we're going to Arby's today. And that's over here, because Trisha literally said in her video that she did on this man, also in her TikToks, the exact Arby's location, time, everything, where it was. So, you can't put that out onto the internet and then be surprised when people come around and say, hey, want to talk to my kids on FaceTime?
Yeah, no. And Trisha made it very clear that this is a place that she frequents, that she goes to often. So now she's just set herself up for people to come forward and try to hassle her or get pictures with her. And I understand Trisha has had things like this happen in the past. I never think that it's all right for people to invade someone's personal space. But I don't think that it's really in the best interest of Trisha to actually go out in this car that everybody can distinguish from every other car. We know that Trisha did used to have another Mercedes that she used to drive around. It was a silver one. It was a mommy mobile. I think that she would be okay if she wanted to take that and go to Arby's or whatever. There has to be some kind of a bit of discretion there when you are, I guess Trisha Paytas really is like a high profile person, right? Because Trisha has millions of followers. Trisha's been on the internet for a long time. People know who Trisha Paytas is. But there has to be some kind of accountability there for her own safety. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I never would put the blame on Trisha for people coming up to her, but there are things and steps that she should take to protect herself because people are crazy.
Well, maybe she should get a security guard that goes out with her for these things, like how Jeffrey has whenever he goes anywhere.
Or even Jacqueline. Jacqueline Hill does the same thing.
Yeah.
Jacqueline Hill never goes anywhere without at least 3 people, you know?
I'm actually very surprised that Trisha wouldn't have people like that are around her, like security guards, because of how... what's the word I want to use? How Trisha is online.
Yeah.
Because she upsets a lot of people. So I'm actually very surprised that she doesn't. And maybe going forward, this could be a learning lesson for her to say, hey, maybe I do need to add them to the payroll, essentially, because I don't feel safe now going out because I have had someone come up to my car, but also I've told everyone where I go and frequent.
No, what this man did was a complete violation. I 1,000% agree with Trisha on that. But then for Trisha to put this TikTok out and basically say that this man needs to have himself investigated, his kids need to be taken away and all of that, I don't necessarily agree with that. Was this man in the wrong? 1,000% he was. He should have never went up to her car, tapped on her window, or done any of that. That's never all right. That's never okay. That is incredibly rude and disrespectful. It's just like what Trisha said. Basically, it is the equivalent of going to someone's house. You never want someone to show up to your house uninvited, especially someone you don't know, if they want to come and try to take pictures. It is the equivalent of that, because when you're out, you're not guarded like that, and it's not fair to people that are in the public light like that to have to be on guard all the time like that. But it is something that they have to be aware of, and they have to guard themselves with, because people are crazy. We live in a very scary time where people will just run up on you, they will attack you, they will take pictures of you, they'll get in your face. And I mean, honestly, if you think about it, it's never going to be to that level with like what it was with Britney Spears, Lindsay, and Harris, and all of that. But Trisha is a public figure. Trisha is very well known. Trisha is one of these people that she has a face where you know her. If you see her one time, you'll know who she is, because she's went viral on the internet several times. So, I mean, I completely agree that this man overstepped a lot of boundaries and it was a clear violation, but I also think that Trisha should also do things and take steps to protect herself going forward, and not giving out the location where you frequent would be a big step in doing that, because I just think that she's going to have to not ever go back to this location ever again.
I just feel like I'm more offended at the fact that this man came up to her car and was knocking on the window to get her to roll it down, all in the middle of a panoramic sunroof.
Yeah, in the middle of a panini. You know what I mean? So, I mean, people, that right there shows you that there's zero respect for other people.
She should have opened her window and started spraying him with hand sanitizer.
No, could you imagine if Trisha opened the window and threw the fries at him?
Yeah. No, not the fries. Like, throw a hand sanitizer or a mask.
Like, get away from me,
Go
sir.
away.
No, I mean, in the TikTok, you can clearly see that Trisha is like filming him and he's like walking toward the car. So, I mean, in that
he
moment.
walked around in the front of it, though.
Yeah.
That was creepy.
Yeah, no, it was definitely one of those things where if I was Trisha, I would have been creeped out and worried and scared too. So I completely get Trisha being upset. I completely get her feeling like she was violated 1,000%. I just don't think that Trisha should have got on the internet and said all these things about this man because now his family is going to see this. You know what I mean?
I'm still going to sit here and choose to believe that when that man went home, if he really was trying to like call his kids on FaceTime so they could say hi to her or whatever, I would like to believe that those kids watched that video of her dragging their father
And laughed
and said, yes, look at that. Because I mean, if they're fans of Trisha, that could be a big moment for them.
I mean,
It's
it could.
In this day and age.
It doesn't take away from the disrespect. And I did want to clear that up with the comments that were left on your video. I do not think that this is the same as people like the whole essay and all that stuff. I don't agree with that. I would never say that that's okay. And I would never try to victim blame anyone, and neither would Nick. So, I mean, that's just utterly ridiculous. This is just coming from like a safety standpoint, and Trisha being such a well-known person and people wanting to get to know her and see her out in public.
There is a video clip when Trisha did that video with Jeffrey and she went over, I don't know, they were doing like a mukbang or something, but they went to the mall and he gave her the Gucci bag that was in the thing. There was a conversation about, oh, let's take the pink Rolls Royce because people will look, people will stare, like that. That's paraphrasing, but it was along those lines. So it's like, okay, you're going to say it over here, but then be shocked when it actually happens to you out in public. Like you're in a pink not a Mercedes, a pink Rolls Royce.
Well, she drove around the pink Mercedes for years, and there was another incident where people came up to the car window when she was out having food, and kind of the same thing happened, and people called Trisha rude for that. Now, I will say, if you're in your car and you're in your personal space and your personal bubble, people should not ever try to get in on that. But I do know that Trisha is one of those YouTubers that if she is out in public and you go up to her, she will be very friendly with you and take pictures and all of that. There's been footage of her at the airport. There's been all kinds of different instances where Trisha has been kind to her fans and all of that. So I don't think that this is an issue where Trisha was wrong in being scared or fearful. I just think that it shouldn't have went any further than the TikTok.
Can I say that I also just find it very weird that when people see an influencer or celebrity out in public and they're having dinner with their family and they're literally mid-bite, you know how annoying it is when a waiter or waitress comes over to you when you're mid-bite and they're like, how are you doing?
Did you ever have that happen when you were a model?
What?
Did you ever have anyone like notice you and come up to you and like...
Yes.
Like we've had people come up to us and notice us in public, and that's fine. If I'm ever out in public, you guys, please feel free to come up and say hey or whatever. But if I'm in the car and you see me in my little Cadillac, just wait till I get out of the car and let me get into where I'm going, and so I know I feel safe. You know what I mean? So I totally get why Trisha would be skeeved out and scared and on the offense.
I'm still sitting here like you're in a pink Rolls Royce in an Arby's parking lot.
Yeah,
that is like, that's the spectacle.
It is a spectacle.
Even if people don't want to like know who Trisha is or whatever, people are still going to take pictures of your car. I had a bright yellowish green Camaro that I would park outside of stores when I went to go. That's just where I could park. It's not like I wasn't pulling
the
like
lady that took a picture of it and you walked by it.
Yes, people love brightly colored cars.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're driving a pink car.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's one of those things where you know something is bound to happen especially when you're a public figure. You know what I mean? And it may not have even been a situation where he knew who Trisha was. He might have just liked the car, but to me that would have made it even more scary because like, why are you asking me about my car? You know what I mean?
She should have just pretended like she couldn't hear.
Yeah. But you guys, please let me know your thoughts and opinions on all this down below. I hope you all have an amazing day, and we'll see you all in the next video.
Bye.
Bye, guys.